Hi, my name's Elaine Rash, and I am the Youth Services Coordinator at the Osterhout Free Library. And really, that just means I'm the children's librarian here. And I hope some of you have been to a library. If you haven't, well, libraries are places to go if you like to read because we have lots and lots of books, right? Libraries are places that store books, and books are what you need to read and to learn things and to get smart. And I've been a librarian here for many years, and I hope some of you will take time to come to the library, tell your mom or dad to bring you down, or grandma, grandpa. We have a lot of fun things for you. The main thing people come to the library for usually is books, but there are other things too. We have movies. You can borrow movies from the library. We have lots of fun activities you can come to. We do story time at the library. We do arts and crafts. We do science programs, lots of fun things. So check out the library. Now, when you check out the library, you might want to take some books home with you or some movies. And to do that, you need one important thing, and that's a library card. I have 3 cards in my hand. You just need to get one. The yellow card is the one that your mom or dad would get. That's the one for grown-ups. And kids have a choice. There's 2 different cards, and it doesn't matter which one you pick. But when you have a library card, it's free to get your card. Doesn't cost a penny. And then you can take home books and movies and all those great things that we have at the library for free. Now, the different thing about a library from a store is you do have to take them back. At a library, you borrow things and you keep them for a couple weeks. You read your books and then you bring them back and get different books. So hopefully you'll come down to a library that's near you and get yourself a library card. Okay? Okay, so I brought a special book today that I want to read to you. And it's called Wild About Books. And if we look at the cover, we see some wild animals, right? Wild animals. So let's find out why they are wild about books. And this book is a very special book because it was written by Judy Sierra and it was illustrated by Mark Brown. Now, the illustrator is the person who draws all the pictures. You might know some of his other books because he has written and illustrated all of the books about this character. Anybody know Arthur stories? Maybe you've even seen Arthur on TV. So right now, though, he's doing this book, Wild About Books. So let's find out what's wild about it. In this, our story, before the story even starts, we see a town, lots of buildings. We see a train going by. And we see this little bus, which is not just a bus, it's a bookmobile, which means it's like a library. It's full of books. And the librarian is driving the bookmobile. And let's see where she's going with that bookmobile. Here's our story. It started the summer of 2002 when the Springfield librarian, Molly McGrew, by mistake drove her bookmobile into the zoo. Molly opened the door, she let down the stair, she turned on a computer, and she sat in her chair. At first, all the animals watched from a distance, but Molly could conquer the strongest resistance by reading aloud from the good Dr. Seuss. She's reading a Dr. Seuss book. She quickly attracted a mink and a moose, and a wombat, an oryx, a lemur, a lynx, 8 elephant calves, and a family of skinks. You know what skinks are? They're little lizards. They're all coming to hear the Dr. Seuss story. In a flash, every beast in the zoo was stampeding to learn all about this new something called reading. They didn't know about reading. Forsaking their niches, their nests, and their nooks, they went wild, simply wild about wonderful books, choosing thin books and fat books and cat in the hat books and new books and true books and heaps of how-to books. Giraffes wanted tall books and crickets craved small books, while geckos could only read stick-to-the-wall books. The little geckos are climbing up the wall, so they need a book that sticks to the wall. The pandas demanded more books in Chinese, and Molly filled their requests, always eager to please. She even found waterproof books for the otter who never went swimming without Harry Potter. He's taking Harry Potter in while he's swimming in the lake. Raccoons read alone, and baboons read in bunches, and llamas read dramas while eating their lunches. Hyenas shared jokes with the red-bellied snakes, and they howled and they hissed till their funny bones ached. They must have found a funny book. A tree kangaroo, who adored Nancy Drew, began solving mysteries right there at the zoo, such as why were the bandicoot's books overdue? Well, here's the bandicoot. And can you see what he did with his books? He's reading one, but the rest of them, he made a little house, didn't he? So he doesn't want to take them back to the library, I guess. Gently, Molly taught lessons in treating books right. This is very important for the boa constrictor who squeezed Crichter too tight. And baby bunnies mucked up Goodnight Moon with their paws. Oh no, they got dirty paws all over the book. And giant termites devoured The Wizard of Oz. They're eating the book? That's not good. And Bear's love of books was completely outrageous. They licked all the pictures right off of the pages. You're not supposed to lick books, are you? No, no, no. Tasmanian devils found books so exciting that soon they had given up fighting for writing. They made up adventures so thrilling and new that the others decided to be authors too. Pythons wrote with their tails. There's the pythons, the snakes. And penguins wrote with their bills. And porcupines wrote with their very own quills. At the new insect zoo, the bugs were scribbling haiku. The scorpion gave each a stinging review. Here's our scorpion, and he's looking at each of the little poems they wrote, the haikus. And this one he says, oh, pretentious. This one stinks. And this one is boring. And this one is redundant. Oh, he just doesn't like any of them. As the cheetah's new novel began to take shape, he read chapters each night to the Barbary ape. And although the gazelle couldn't spell very well, like everyone else, she had stories to tell. So even if she couldn't write them, she could tell her stories. Imagine the hippo's enormous surprise when her memoir was given the Zulitzer Prize. With so many new books, Molly knew what to do. She hired 12 beavers, a stork, and a gnu to build a branch library right there at the zoo. Then the animals cried, we can do it ourselves. We can check the books out. We can put them on shelves. And they did, and they do, up to this very day. So 3 cheers for the Zoobrary. Hip, hip, hooray. When you visit the zoo now, you surely won't mind if the animals seem just a bit hard to find. They are snug in their niches, their nests, and their nooks, going wild, simply wild about wonderful books. And the special thing about this book, on the very last page, the author and the illustrator have wrote a little note that says, this book is for our favorite doctor, artist, poet, and fun concoctor, Theodore Seuss Geisel. Do you know who Theodore Seuss Geisel is? He is Dr. Seuss. That's his real name. His first name was Theodore, and his last name is Geisel, but he was called Dr. Seuss. So this is a book they wrote just in honor of the wonderful Dr. Seuss. Wild about animals. Well, wild about books. Wild animals about books, right? So I hope you'll become wild about books. Come down to a library and get some books. And the more you read, the more you know, and the smarter you will get. And so reading is so important. I hope you come and get some books when you learn to read.